All right, we are live. Welcome into Super Bowl weekend edition. You boys ready?
For the last game of the year. Dude, every single year the season goes by too quickly. I feel like the playoffs flew by this year. I think the whole season flew by.
Me and Markello's season's been over since September or October.
October for sure.
But
Markello, you can't say that. You were watching till the end. You had a chance at the end.
I was watching.
Yeah, he wasn't hoping for a win.
Over. I was mock
drafting.
I know,
but
from like
the
week
Giants
7,
had
bro.
a reason to, keep playing and keep watching.
Yeah, I've been watching film on college prospects since like October, dude. It is what it is.
Way too early.
That's been us for like the last decade, honestly.
That's not true, Ryan. It's only been 5 years.
For who?
6 years. The Jets.
No, we haven't been in the playoffs since 2011.
You were a game away from being in the playoffs in 2015.
Not a game away.
A game away.
We didn't make it.
A game away. A quarter away.
We did finish 10-6 and somehow didn't make it, but
3 interceptions away.
It's tragic.
It's tragic.
But anyway, over the weekend we had some big news. The first quarterback carousel domino fell. Matthew Stafford was traded to the LA Rams for a 2020 first round pick, 2023 first round pick, and a third round pick in this upcoming class in 2021. And the Lions got back Jared Goff.
You know what's funny too? I'm seeing on Twitter a lot of people think that like the Lions won the trade and the Rams got screwed over.
They did.
I actually thought that was a good trade for the Rams.
Not really. I mean, yes and no, because like you get them one like piece that you desperately needed on that team, like a competent quarterback. But
no, because dude, think about it. They were paying Goff all that money, like compared to what, even though they're still paying the dead cat, Stafford is cheaper, better. Like they have to be the favorites to win the NFC now, just in terms of regular season wins. They have to be. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I'm projecting them to win the NFC next year, as is like pre-off season.
Like number one seed, or just you mean like in the playoffs?
Number one seed in the NFC, because they entered this year as the youngest team in the league, and they're going to be obviously be able to keep most of the people. They haven't drafted with a first round pick in years anyway, and they've still been relevant. I think I forget the exact number. They're like 43-21 under Sean McVay since he's been there. So he's been winning games without these first round picks.
Yeah, but you can't also say that he's been moving these first round picks for like studs. You know what I mean?
No, but that's their MO. That's how they, operate the offseason. That's, the Saints do it too. The Saints always trade, their future picks. It's just certain teams, that's how they operate. And it works for the Rams, getting at least 10 wins every year. And now with Stafford, you have to assume that they're going to win like 13 games. If they're winning 10 games with Jared Goff, they'll win 13 with Stafford. And then you get to pay him in 2 years. Once he's living in LA for 2 years, he's not going to want to leave. He's going to end up re-signing and finishing his career in LA.
100%, because his best friend plays for the Dodgers.
Well, not only
Clayton Kershaw, his best friend from like childhood, plays
Stafford
right
has like
in the same
5
city.
more years left, and it's all going to be with the Rams. So
no, 100%. But it's just like
they want it.
It was a good trade, but I don't know. Like I get you have to throw in the first. You have to throw in the first to get rid of Goff's contract, but 2 firsts is too much for me.
No, you can't say that.
Yeah.
You have Aaron Donald in his prime, Jalen Ramsey in his prime. You have your receivers right now in their prime. Cam Akers,
doesn't matter,
second
dude. One
year.
play and their careers could be over. It's not like football is like a forgiving game, dude. You know what I mean?
The 2 detriments I see right now on their roster is maybe linebacker and offensive line. They need to beef up, especially to protect Stafford because he gets hurt too often. But still, this is the best team that's ever been around Stafford.
To not have like a MVP type season now. Like he's on a team with a great defense.
In contention.
He just needs to stay healthy.
I don't know. I think it was good for both teams. I don't really mind the 2 first round picks because I think they're going to be 25 and later in both years. So they're bottom.
Yeah, I understand Stafford wanted to go to LA and they wanted to, help him out and give him what he wanted. But hearing that rumor that Carolina offered whatever their top 10 pick this year,
8th
I don't know how you not
pick,
take that and run.
For the Lions, like I'm going to say this, like, so they did Matthew Stafford a solid. So like that's, they had a history of, the Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders, of people retiring early and being pissed off with the franchise, especially Calvin Johnson recently. So it was good on them to find like a mutual, partner, and Stafford really wanted LA. We know like him and McVay have they were actually in Cabo together. I don't know if you guys seen that when the trade went down. So they actually met up for dinner when it got announced that last Saturday.
I saw all the Saints fans commenting, "Oh, this isn't tampering."
Either way, I'm happy for Stafford. I really am. After all these years in Detroit, we're going to see, I think, a career like turning around point. I mean, he's respected around the league, but just from based on the trade, I don't think people realize like around the league, I guess how good Stafford is, or how much different his career could have been if he didn't end up with the Lions these last 12 years.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for him. I think it is an upgrade over Goff. I think I said this last week when we were talking about what teams could get a new quarterback. Everyone thought the Rams were trapped with the Jared Goff contract, but I put them in questionable. I really thought McVay was done with Goff, and we found out literally 2 days later he was done with him weeks ago. So I'm happy for the Rams, and you know what? They should go for it. They're a unique team. Like they're one of those teams, right? Well, they won't have a first round pick, I think, for what, six years in a row now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be more than 6 years by the time they pick next.
Listen, we talked about it when we were talking about the Packers recap. Like the NFC for right now is not really like you're not playing Mahomes until you get to the Super Bowl. Like the NFC right now, Drew Brees is retiring, so Brady's going to be 44 next year. This is the window to go for it. Like it's now. The Rams have a good team. I like the boldness. I definitely like that much better than being stuck with Jared Goff for 2 more years. But at the same time, for the Lions, getting 2 first-round picks now in the next year and the year after that, now they're going to build out the roster, keep Goff as like a little, placeholder veteran, and they build the roster. Hopefully Dan Campbell's the answer. I mean, the Lions are in a like complete rebuild. Like they're not going to be good this year. They're probably not going to be good next year, but you just want to see them getting better and better. I actually like the staff Dan Campbell has brought. I don't know about him as a coach, but
what happened?
No, I'm telling you to check your phone, Peter.
Oh.
Look, dude, all I'm saying is, look, I agree with every point you guys just made. I think Matt Stafford's a great player, but 2 first-round picks?
Yeah, but not all first-round picks are created equal.
But listen.
I get that,
look
man.
at it like this.
Whatever.
Let's say they keep their 2
at the end of the day,
picks,
it's a first-round pick.
Yeah, but 25.
You guys overvalue this.
Different than top 10.
You guys are overvaluing.
No, it's not. I don't think so.
I just said
I think anywhere in the first round.
This is like the Watson thing too, where you said your cutoff was 3 first-round picks. Just throw in the 4th.
No, I'm not.
No, dude.
You guys are overvaluing.
No, because there's a difference between the Jets and the Rams.
I understand, but
it's not even that.
Would be that the Jets would be in the 20s.
Listen, the Jets can get Watson, and we still might not be that great next year. There's a good chance we won't make the playoffs next year.
But even if that's 1 year, then the other years following, you should be in the playoffs by then.
No, but you're giving up your 2 first-round picks this year, and then the 3rd first-round pick next year. That's going to be a top 15 pick probably again.
Like, granted, you do get Deshaun Watson, and then you get all the other players that want to come play with him.
Because you have the coaching staff now in New York, and we saw what happened in Miami. When you have a good coaching staff, you make the right draft. They didn't even make the right draft picks, Miami. They just made good free agency moves, and they have a good coaching staff, and they went from bottom of the league to top of the league in 1 season. It's possible.
No, it's possible. I'm just saying that, listen, I don't think Watson's coming to New York anyway. It's not going to happen. So,
you know what I think is happening? I think you don't want to give yourself false hope, because if you tell yourself you're going to get so excited about it, and it doesn't happen.
I think 75% chance Deshaun Watson will not be a Jet, maybe even more.
That's crazy. The Texans will not find a better trade partner.
Yeah, it makes sense. It does make sense, and everyone keeps mentioning the Jets because we have the most capital, and now there's rumors flying around that Darnold might go for a late first from Schefter. Hopefully that's true. I mean, listen, at this time of the year, you don't know what's smoke and what's not. I'm sure the Jets are leaking that because they want a late first. They'll probably settle for.
But Schefter wouldn't report that, because Schefter said that he believes, based on what Stafford went for, that he was going to go for first. And think about it.
Yeah, well, the Stafford domino favors, like everyone keeps mentioning how it affects Watson. It doesn't affect Watson at all. This would affect the rest of the quarterback market because there's dominoes now that are being falling, and teams like the Colts cannot get Deshaun Watson because the Texans aren't dumb enough to trade him in the same division. So, and there's not the quarterbacks are realistically on the move. And
teams like the Niners too. Don't forget the Niners.
Besides the rookie quarterbacks, it's Darnold, it's Watson, and it's, if you want to count Cam Newton, I guess, but.
And the teams picking in like 20 and later are not going to be able to get any of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks in this draft class. So that's where Darnold's like value comes in, hopefully. But I still think the Jets would trade Darnold and still take a rookie quarterback. I don't think it leads to just them throwing it all at Watson.
Well, you guys got to trade Darnold before the draft.
We don't necessarily have to. I'm hoping he's the next quarterback gone in this carousel, like traded.
Well, look, the realistic teams that would trade a late first would be teams like New Orleans, but I don't think they're on Sam Darnold. But it would be that kind of.
Hopefully, Winston leaves then, if that's the case, so we can
like New Orleans.
Sean Payton went on.
I know. Good Morning Football.
Sure, yeah, and he was saying that it's a big priority for us to keep Winston. And honestly, I think Winston's our best shot going into the year.
Yeah, if you get Winston back, it would make no sense. We're going to go in with Darnold, Winston, and Hill. What is that?
Like, I understood the rumors, like having Stafford and trading picks for Stafford would be good for the Saints over Winston. I understood it. A part of me still would rather Winston, believe it or not, just for the Saints because he's already been there for a year. I don't have to really worry about health concerns. I'm not saying he's better than Stafford. I'm just saying, we already had him in house. It would have been an easier transition. Would have kept all of our picks. I wouldn't get mad at Stafford, but obviously Watson I would trade the house for. But besides Stafford and Watson, there's really no other quarterback I would rather right now than Winston. That's available at least.
Well, you don't have to give up anything for Winston either. He's a free agent, so.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a lot. It would be a small contract. It would be another 1-year deal, and
I don't think. I think it might be a little bit way more than. I think you paid him $1 million last year. I think he's going to get at least like 7 or more because there's teams now who are desperate.
But as long as it's a 1-year deal, I'm fine with that.
Okay, I'm just saying because teams like Chicago might just come in with like a contract he can't decline.
Yeah, but he's not stupid because he knows if he signs a 1-year deal right now with New Orleans and he does well, that he's the franchise after that.
It's possible, but then again, he might be thinking to himself, "Am I going to deal with this Taysom Hill bullshit?"
Well, he's going to tell himself, "Would I really rather deal with Taysom Hill coming in on trick plays and those power plays and make millions of dollars and win football games and win playoff games, or am I going to go play for Matt Nagy and that mess with an organization? Everybody there is going to be fired by week 6."
At least he'll play 100% of the snaps.
Week 6, everybody's going to be fired.
I know what you're saying. I'm saying that
whoever the starting quarterback is going to be fired. Nagy fired.
Most likely. I mean, they should have been fired this year, so we'll see what they do. But I'm just saying we already know that the quarterback carousel is going to be nuts this offseason. So I wouldn't bank. I mean, I think James is going to return to the Saints. I just wouldn't bank on it because there are teams that can definitely outbid you.
No,
you're not hitting him with the franchise tag, obviously.
But him and his age, he's not dumb. He knows there's a reason why he came to New Orleans in the first place. You know what I mean? Because remember when last year it came out that the Steelers were heavily interested in Winston and he still chose the Saints over them? It wasn't just because we were in division. It's because he knows Sean Payton. He knows how good our team is, our roster is, our front office to put around him. He knew the situation. Breeze is old, going to retire soon. Could say the same about Ben, but New Orleans is just a better situation. And he knows that. He took less money to come back up for a year, and this year we're saying he would be the starter. So I think I'm pretty confident that we're bringing him back.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Sean Payton talked, well of him this morning on Good Morning Football. So, but you just never know. Peter, let me ask you this, right? So I wrote down a few teams of trade packages for Deshaun Watson, right? If you were the Saints, would you do this trade? A first round pick this year. For Watson. A first round pick this year, a second round pick this year, a first next year.
Okay.
Marshawn Lattimore and Marcus Davenport.
No, absolutely not.
Because before you answer that, Peter.
So you're telling me go finish.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say only because there's a Texans reporter, John McCain, who kind of leaked what the Texans might be looking for. This is maybe only a start point, but obviously first round picks are valued differently. The reason why I'm throwing in Lattimore is because the Saints salary cap issue, and he's a great player. So maybe the Texans, would value him more than 3 first round picks. So they get 2 from the Saints. So yeah, go ahead. Would you do that trade if you're the Saints?
So here's my dilemma with that trade, right? So I'm fine with sending away Davenport. I'm even fine with sending away picks, right? Like at first I was like 2 firsts and the second, sign me up. I'm like, why? So you said the picks first, right?
Yeah.
Then you said Davenport. Did you say Marshawn first?
I said the Lattimore first.
See, the thing is, we're so thin at cornerback. And I know people like to, say how good our roster is in our secondary. But if you think about it, really, it's just Marcus Williams had a good year this year. We have Lattimore who had a good year this year, but last year was kind of an off year. Janoris Jenkins, good player. But again, these players, we don't have lockdown forever. Lattimore's going to be a free agent soon. We have to extend him. And besides Jenkins and Lattimore, we get really thin fast. PJ Williams is not good. Patrick Robinson is not good. I like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, but I'm not going to ask him to go guard Julio Jones. You know what I mean? He's a nickelback, and if you need him to play outside, he could do that once in a while too, or if you need him to play safety. So, taking away my number one corner, Young entering his prime, that's a tough one. I'd rather throw in another pick than Lattimore.
Well, the Texans might just say we want Lattimore.
And we might but that's the thing. The Saints aren't as, QB needy, desperate as some of the other teams in the league. So I don't even think that, we would be, begging or, desperately trying to work out a trade for Watson. I think it would be more of a thing where if it's convenient for us and the offer is just too good. And I just don't think it's going to be that case. Because I don't see how. I don't think we would offer Lattimore. I think it would be a lot of picks, and then a player like Marcus Davenport, and then maybe someone else, right?
Well, I was looking through your roster.
Linebacker.
I couldn't see who else I would send on defense if I'm looking as a Texans fan or Texans. Like
Zach Bond, still young.
He didn't play last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So somebody like that, maybe.
I don't know. Then I would throw in a first-round pick. I was just trying to get creative here from the Saints' point of view because I know they like to. And I was thinking,
or even Cameron Jordan. I think I'd rather trade Cameron Jordan than Marshall.
All right, he's another option, but the Texans can't afford him. This is the problem with the Texans.
They would have to extend Lattimore. You trade your franchise quarterback and not re-sign the corner.
I know they have to extend him, but you can backload the contract. Like Cameron Jordan's kind of stuck the way he is.
Yeah,
but even so, it's something to think.
I'd rather give him another pick than Lattimore though.
So 3 firsts and Davenport. I don't think that would do it. I think the Saints are a team that would need 4.
Because just where they're picking in the draft. Picks.
Yeah. Or you have to package a whole entire draft class, which you guys had done before for Ricky.
I actually saw this morning, Saint beat writers, and that there's mutual interest right now entering free agency between the Saints and Mark Ingram.
The reunion?
Yeah, so the possible reunion might be happening this offseason.
That's valid.
And I'll be more than happy to bring him back because you think about it, he left us for it was 2 years, $5 million, right?
What about Latavius Murray? You just getting rid of him?
I don't know if we're getting rid of him. I don't even know if he's still under contract. I think we still have him for another year, but I'd still bring in Mark Ingram. You can't have too many backs, especially when how the Saints use the backfield. We don't really have a workhorse. Kamara is more low touches and efficient. Latavius. But I'd be open to that. Great locker room presence. Everybody already knows him. We probably, spark that flame that we need now with Drew Brees probably retiring. I'd be more than happy to bring him back. Because worst case scenario, we don't use him as much because we'll have the 3 running backs. And he still has that effort and, morale for the team.
I'm with you. Right,
and he would be cheap.
I wrote down 4 other teams. I wrote down more, but these are the Saints only brought up because you're a Saints fan. And I guess it is. The Saints are an aggressive team, kind of like the Rams, so you just never know with them. And like we said last week, we were talking about the Deshaun Watson and Stafford before he got traded. I said to you guys, what trade has ever gone to the favorites? Even last week, everyone said Stafford, for sure, Colts or Niners, for sure. It makes too much sense. Where does he get traded? The LA Rams. So Deshaun Watson, all we're hearing about for weeks is the Jets and Dolphins. There are some other teams now that are coming into it, but I think I would be a little bit stunned if he ended up. I think the Jets are going to be in on it. I just think there's a point that the Jets aren't going to go past, and they're going to just either run it back with Sam or I think draft the rookie at 2. I think that's the favorites. But I'll mention a few other teams. I put down the Panthers here. I said a first this year, a second this year, a first next year, and a first in 2023, and Teddy Bridgewater.
I'm actually worried that the Panthers are going to be one of the teams in the running for
I think they're the favorites in my opinion. I said it this 2 weeks ago.
I think they're the favorite dark horse team because I still don't see people talking about the Panthers trading for Watson.
They have an aggressive owner. They should have had Stafford realistically if the Lions were kind of smarter or they didn't want to screw over Stafford, but they offered the 8th overall pick for Stafford and a late rounder. I'm stunned the Lions still didn't accept it, but
yeah, that blows my mind. I would have ran with that.
So that makes me think
that was primarily just working it out with Stafford. But I was just trying to keep Stafford happy.
No, yeah, that's what I think. The Lions did him a favor, and because he wanted the Rams too, and then they threw in the extra first, and that got it done. But
I know that's nice of their ownership. The guy gave you 12 years, you let him down, you wasted his career pretty much.
That's really cool because there's a big difference between pick 25 and 8. So, But we move past that already. I think now the Panthers will realize we don't want Teddy anymore, but we're picking 8th in the draft. So realistically, if they stay at 8, they're going to miss out at least on the top 3 in this class. At least they might miss out on the big 4 in this class if they stay at 8, depending on trade ups. So
to be honest with you, I don't even think if they don't land Deshaun Watson, I think this is a good trade back spot for them and the Niners. I think the Niners are going to get aggressive and move up if Trey Lance is still on the board.
I would agree with you, but I think if the Panthers don't get Watson, they're just going to move up and take whatever it takes. I think they really want to quarterback this offseason.
I think they just ride it out with Teddy. I think they were just ride it out with Teddy. I think the 49ers are worse down bad for a quarterback right now just because they're in a window.
In terms of position, I agree with you, but in terms of like the thought process going on in Carolina, they just offered the 8th overall pick for Matthew Stafford and the late rounder. They're going all in on somebody, whether it's a rookie or Watson. I'm telling you right now, they're going all in.
But there's so many teams already in the top 5 that need a quarterback, and then teams outside the top 5 that want to trade in. We see this every year where it's so hard to trade up into the that top half of the draft, the top 7 picks, let's say, and so many teams want to do it that the teams end up just staying put. So I don't know how realistic it is for them to actually move up.
There was no trade ups last year, right? In the top 15, top 10. Oh, it was one trade up. It was like a swap of like the Niners and Bucks at 12 and 13, but it was like literally just one spot.
One spot.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I don't think Carolina's going to be able to move up because you look at it. Yeah,
well, they could maybe move up Miami. Miami would be, and if the Jets stick with Darnold, those are the only 2 teams that make sense. I don't think the Jets are, so I think Miami is like the spot to trade up to.
I don't even think so. I think Miami's going to take who they want at 3. It's either going to be the tackle or Chase.
But there's so much talent that you could trade down. Honestly, if I was Miami, I'd probably trade down.
They can't get either Chase, Smith, or Sewell at 8 because I really think I think out of the first 4 picks, if the Dolphins stay put, I think it's 3 out of 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, 100%.
And if the Dolphins trade pick, I think it's going to be 4 in a row to start the draft, 4 quarterbacks in a row.
I agree, but the only thing is, I think everyone's staying put until we get to like Carolina. Carolina could be the only one that I think goes down. I don't think they move up. I just don't see any either. I think at that point maybe if they don't want Trey Lance and the 49ers really, really, truly want him, I think they get aggressive and move up.
But that's the thing. So you guys are even saying that you think a lot of the first, 3 out of the 4 picks are going to be quarterbacks, right? So it's going to be quarterback at 1, quarterback at 2, unless Jets trade for Watson. But even then,
it's going to be a quarterback.
Either way, it's going to be a quarterback.
Going quarterback.
Right? So depending on what Miami does, let's just say they don't take a quarterback or whoever possibly moves up, whatever. Let's just assume there's no quarterback taken at 3. Okay. Atlanta has to take a quarterback. I think everybody's penciling that in already. And how many teams are going to trade up then at that point? Who are you trading up?
Because the Bengals aren't going to move. Bengals aren't
3 quarterbacks already. So you're giving up all of your future to trade to the 5th pick, 6th pick, just to get a Mac Jones or a Trey Lance. I just don't see that happening.
Trey Lance is going to be a hot commodity. I don't think he's going to make it to 5.
What?
I think Trey Lance is going 4th overall.
No, I think I actually have Justin right now. So
I'm putting him in for all my mocks.
I know we haven't heard a lot about Justin Fields and whatnot, and the Trey Lance talk is starting to like spice up a little bit. But I can guarantee you that Justin Fields is going to get taken at 4. 110%.
I'm going Trey Lance at 4.
Dude, you know me. I love Trey Lance as much as every other like analyst, but I'm telling you, it's going to be Justin Fields at 4.
I know why it makes sense. I think he's also from Atlanta. I think Fields is from, but I'm just saying
something like that, bro.
But I'm just saying, I think it's gonna be Lance. For all my mocks, you guys will see. We're gonna make a mock draft next week of like our 1.0 after Super Bowl, post Super Bowl. But I'm pretty.
Man, I love Trey Lance. I'd be thrilled if he goes for.
I'm gonna take him there because in that situation, right, he's not gonna play for at least a year behind Matt Ryan.
At least.
Yeah, at least. I mean, that'd be fun. But all right, we'll move on to my next team because Carolina, I think they're going to make. I don't think they run it back with Teddy, no matter what happens with them. I put Washington football team here because they're another team that offered their first round pick for Stafford. So for Watson, I offered a 2020 first round pick, 2021 second round pick, a 5th round pick this year as well, and then I put a 2022 first, a 2023 first, and Matt Ioannidis. Their defense, they're like. He's pretty good, but they have a bunch of defensive linemen, so I just threw one in.
And how many? Can you read off the picks? How many firsts were that?
So that's 3 first-round picks, a second-round pick this year, and a fifth-round pick this year as well. And Matt Ioannidis.
And where do you think those future picks they're going to be picking?
Honestly, I think they're all going to be in the 20s, somewhere in the playoff range.
I think if you threw Montez Sweat instead of Matt Ioannidis, it could get it done. Just because Matt Ioannidis is a little bit older. A little bit older.
He's pretty good though, but yeah.
No, he's good. I think he's one of the focal points of that like line, but I think he's like 29, 28, something like that.
Yeah, he's the oldest one out of the 4.
I just don't think this front office and especially ownership is that aggressive.
You don't think Dan Snyder's going to be aggressive?
No, I don't. He doesn't even have a team name yet.
No, Dan Snyder.
That's a team name. Washington football team. That's it.
No.
They're going to keep it.
Dude, they trademarked it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they did to have it as their name for this year, but I don't think they're going to give up Montez Sweat 3 firsts, a second, and a 5th. I think that's just too steep for them.
But you said that it's Deshaun Watson, who's 25 years old, right?
To be honest with you, dude, I think I'm going to say from here, Deshaun.
Let me ask you this honestly: What are the Washington football team going to do at quarterback this season?
Yeah, I completely understand. It makes sense.
Heineke, my guy Heineke.
They should do it. I would do it if I was them.
My only option for them in free agency would be Cam Newton. That's it. There's no other options. And even him at this point is,
Cam Newton would be a good fit with Ron Rivera, though.
Yeah, reunion. But then again, they have to ask themselves, realistically,
they had 3 good seasons.
Cam Newton going to survive a 16-game season or more?
They had 3 good seasons. What makes you think it's going to be good now?
Well, look, we're mentioning Washington's options. What are the options? It's really Cam Newton.
They have no option.
That's what I'm saying. So what are they going to do?
They're picking at 19. They can't draft nobody. I understand. I get it.
Washington, call Sam Darnold where he's available. We'll take your first.
No, they wouldn't give up a pick 19 for Darnold.
So, you never know.
It could happen for Darnold. It could happen.
No,
but it doesn't have to be just a first. They can give us our first, and we can send back like Darnold and a 4th. I'm with that.
I guess if you work out something like that, but...
or Darnold in like one of your 3rds.
No, that I'm not doing. But we can get a 2nd and 5th for Darnold, so I wouldn't send back one of my 3rds. Yeah, I'm going to be stingy here because listen. We're sitting here, right? Stafford's gone. We're mentioning teams now who are going to be Carolina's in no man's land, right? They're going to have to either move up or trade for Watson. If they're not getting a top 3 quarterback in this class at 8, they might even miss out on 4. Washington, we know for a fact, is not getting any of the top 4 in this draft unless they move all the way up. And they're only
option is hard to do.
Or they run it back with Heineke, or they try to get Alex Smith to come back again, which he's not going to survive 16 games. It's not going to happen.
And we have to see how much faith Ron Rivera has in Kyle Allen.
No, he had a serious injury, like an Alex Smith kind of injury.
He's not going to play this year?
No, I don't think so.
He's missing all. I know he missed all last, but he's going to miss this year too. I don't know if he's going to miss 2 full years of football.
There's no way they believe in him anyway. There's not.
Yeah,
I mean, he brought him in the building, didn't he? He traded
as a backup. Dwayne Haskins just failed miserably. He had to put him in. I move on. I think Washington's interesting, and of course, I can mention the Jets and Dolphins. We already kind of know our packages. Both teams, we both have 1st-round picks this year. For the Dolphins, I threw in Tua. For the Jets, I threw in Sam, and for the Dolphins, for the Jets, I put in John Franklin Myers. He's a pretty good defensive lineman, and for the Dolphins, I put in their first round corner from last year from Auburn. Noah, I can't even pronounce his last name. But those are not the teams I want to mention because if you have Twitter, you just on social media, you know everything that's being offered by, we're kind of the 2 teams that everyone expects. I brought up the Bears, so another team that's kind of in no man's land. Trubisky's gone. You have the coach and GM on the hot seat. Now, I don't know if I would do this if I was the Bears, or if I would let ownership do this because Al Robinson's most likely walking out the door. Your offense really is just Dave Montgomery. I think Jimmy Graham stuck there, Cole Kmet, like Anthony Miller, and Darnell Mooney. It's not terrible. They definitely need a number 1 if Robinson leaves. But for the Bears, I offered a 1st-round pick this year, a 2nd-round pick this year, a 2022 1st-round pick, a 2022 2nd-round pick, Roquan Smith, and then a 2023 5th-round pick.
You'd be even willing to throw in Roquan. You'd be even throw Roquan Smith with that?
I'm just trying to think because if the Texans are looking So I didn't want to send back Khalil Mack because of his contract, and he's a little bit older.
It's not even that too. It's like
I'm offering a first and second this year and next year, plus Roquan Smith and like a 2023 fifth-round pick.
I feel like that's a lot, but I
It's
see
gonna take a lot to get.
just because the first and the seconds are really like seconds and thirds, just because of how they're going to be placed. But I mean, it's even funnier in the fact that they could have had Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
they didn't have to be in the situation, but I don't know.
I don't think the Bears are going to trade for him. I actually think the market for Watson is small.
So what teams?
I mean, look, if you're the Bears and you trade for Watson, you're probably keeping Allen Robinson.
Honestly, I think it's the Jets. I still think the Jets are the favorite. I can't think of a better trade partner for Houston. 2, I think it's Carolina. 3, I could see Washington, but honestly, I think there's more of a chance he goes to Miami than Washington. So I'd put Jets, Panthers, Miami, then Washington 4. And I think those are the 4 teams, and that's it.
You think only 4 teams?
I think
think it's only 4 realistic teams that are willing to go that high.
No,
you don't think the 49ers would throw it all in for him?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
So the Niners are going to be back with Jimmy G?
The Niners are not going to be with Jimmy G. They're not starting the season.
I think they might have to, realistically.
They won't do it, dude.
What are they going to do?
I'm telling you, they're going to find a way. If it's not Deshaun Watson, it's going to be Trey Lance. They're going to trade up in this draft.
I'm telling Trey Lance is going very high in this draft. Maybe I'm wrong at 4. I'm telling you, Trey Lance. I really believe he's going to be top 6 pick.
I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but if you guys are saying that, I'm seeing everywhere on NFL Network, on Twitter, everywhere that Mac Jones is rising up everybody's draft boards, and he's going to be
he had a really good week.
Overdrafted, and everybody's going to be surprised because of what he did at the Senior Bowl and everything.
Yeah, he had a really good week at the Senior Bowl.
I think Mac Jones is locked in top 15 pick.
I don't think Mac Jones was supposed to play, by the way.
What happened?
I heard he had like some ankle injury going on. He wasn't even supposed to play, and then like he ended up playing.
No, like he practiced all week and then just didn't play in the game. But the game's kind of meaningless. Like the Senior Bowl week is just meant for the practices, for the one-on-ones, all the drills, and he showed out on them. Like I said, there's gonna be 5 quarterbacks taken in the top 15. Like Mac Jones is one of them. He's just not like considered any like the top 4. Like I don't think Mac Jones is going in the top 10. I don't think so.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mac Jones gets taken before Trey Lance.
No way.
You're insane.
I think he's going to be a surprise pick. I think it's going to be one of those things where
you know what that's going to be? You know what that's going to be? That's going to be Mitchell Trubisky getting taken before Deshaun Watson.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be something like that.
That's what it's going to be.
It's not going to happen.
I think he's going to get overdrafted.
Trey Lance, I'm telling you this right now. Trey Lance is, I think he's going 4th overall.
The Jets call up at number 2, Mac Jones.
I think I would pick with Darnold before doing that.
Bro.
Don't be surprised if there's some kind of trade.
It's not going to happen.
Picking 8, 9, 10, and
the Mac Jones sweet spot is like somewhere between 10 and 15.
Really?
Yeah, I think Peter's right. I do think he's going to go higher than people think.
Well, he's not going to Dallas. He's not going to the Giants.
I'm thinking like maybe this is where a team like Chicago or Washington trade up and
move
up or New England.
I don't think Chicago's going to make that mistake again and trade up to take a quarterback.
To be honest with you, dude, I think the way the board falls for the Giants, I wouldn't be surprised if we trade down because I don't like any of the picks I've made for the Giants in mock draft so far.
Honestly, I think fit-wise, I think Cam Newton's going to end up in either Chicago or Washington. So that would solve one of those 2 teams' quarterback situation for the year. So again, it's teams like San Francisco. I think they're just going to be stuck running it back.
Would the Niners just pair Mac Jones with Garoppolo? I think that could make some sense.
Yeah, no, 49ers could be one of the teams drafting Mac Jones, but I don't think Mac Jones would start.
No, he wouldn't
chance Mac Jones start.
But we know Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to survive 16 games, so he'll eventually be thrown in.
Yeah, that's realistic. I could see that something like that happening. But again, for Watson, I don't even see. I think it's just those 4 teams in that order I mentioned before: Jets, Panthers, Washington.
Okay. Well, listen, that was fun to talk about the top.
I think you guys are underselling, man. Like 49ers are going to come out of nowhere and just pick them up.
Well, here, let me
think so.
Oh, I know, Peter. Let me see what
you expected the Rams to come in and swoop up Matt Stafford.
For the Niners, so I just wrote it down. I put a first this year, a first next year, a second round next year, a 4th round pick this year. Jimmy Garoppolo, unfortunately, I guess he has to be part of this somehow, like just kind of a dump, but I don't know how because the Texans are, their cap situation's not ideal. And then I gave them Emmanuel Mosley, one of the corners of the Niners. But I don't think this would get it done. I'm just saying this is something I just wrote down because like the Niners, I wanted to look for a corner, and their whole entire secondary is a free agent. I'm not kidding. All the corners are free agent. Literally, Sherman.
So what makes you think that they're going to be willing to part ways with all these picks?
No, I don't think they are. This is just a team that I considered a possibility for Watson. Like the Niners are not in my top 5 of teams. I don't think he's gonna end up a Niner. But then again, I mean, Stafford just got traded within the division. Does something change for the Niners' perspective? It could. I mean, this is the type of move now where the Niners know now for a fact they have the worst quarterback in their division.
Yeah, by far. It's not even close.
What pick are they picking?
It's kind of sad because
they're picking 12th overall.
12.
So again, I do think that one of the more realistic options, let's say, is like drafting Mac Jones and then.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I think they will try something. They have to do something, like because Garoppolo, we know his injury history. Kyle Shanahan, I think, is just pissed off in general about him. I feels like he goes through 2 or 3 quarterbacks a year. Outside of the Super Bowl.
Let's not forget what's going on with Nick Foles and Trubisky, who's still going to be on the roster.
Well, I think they're going to re-sign Trubisky. I think Trubisky's
gone. But like,
you think so? I don't think so.
Going to end up somewhere,
in Trubisky, right? Like no one.
No, but he's going to end up somewhere.
Yeah, as a backup maybe, and you don't even want that.
No, but it's still going to happen.
No, I know, but
some team like Pittsburgh, who has like, let's say, in Pittsburgh's case, it's a retiring old quarterback, right? They're like, look, he's going to stay for 1 more year, but we need to have a plan B, whatever. So,
but there's so many other better quarterbacks.
They went with Dwayne Haskins.
No, but there's so many better quarterbacks that you could do though. Like Sam Darnold is like that kind of guy that you should behind like a Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Darnold's going to cost you a first or second round. Trubisky's free.
Yeah, I get that, but Mitch Trubisky sucks.
He's better than Dwayne Haskins.
At the end of the day, like there's no fixing him.
No, but the point is he'll be on a roster, is what Peter's saying. Like he'll be a backup somewhere. You're not going to be excited about it, but it's going to happen. Like he's not going to be out of the league this year.
If I'm that franchise, I'm praying to God my quarterback never goes down, bro.
Well, maybe it's a team like the Chiefs or something where it doesn't really matter. Just something like that. But anyway,
speaking of the Chiefs, let's transition this into the Super Bowl.
Everyone talking about so much about Watson. We spent a lot of time in this episode just talking about possible trade packages. And it's going to be funny when he sits out the entire year and Houston don't trade him at all.
He came out and said that he would be willing to sit the year, right? Wasn't that a report?
I don't know if that's official because now we're just seeing stuff like anybody's talking about. Like, where's all this news coming from? I haven't seen Watson tweet anything. Like
I saw a report that he was going to show up to OTAs, but that
the agents aren't making it out either. I just feel like it's like someone different every day coming out with like something. Like no, I don't think any of this stuff is true.
Did you guys see the thing where he was going to set out OTAs and then like his team came out and they were like, nah, that's bullshit. Like, I don't know where they pulled that from. So yeah, I don't know what to believe anymore regarding
that's what I'm saying. With the whole Watson thing, it feels like it's something new every single day and you don't know what's actual true and what's not. But this wouldn't surprise me. We spent so much time talking about Watson from the Texans end, right? They are we talked about it last week. They're super dysfunctional. Don't be surprised if they just like screw this whole situation up worse. But I think it gets to a point where the Texans have to realize like we want capital for the future. We want to start building the team back. And
the best chance to do that is the New York Jets. And
with this team, there's a minister running this team. The ownership's a mess.
Look, you have an expatriate
in your now apparently a priority over Deshaun Watson. Don't be surprised if like this. I don't know. I don't even know, but
that's what I'm saying. You have an expatriate making primary decisions for this team and this organization. And he knows where the Jets pick every year more than anybody else. I think that would be his first call or first team to try to get something done. Whether or not Joe Douglas and him could come to an agreement to work out something, but I do think the Jets will be the first team he tries with at the very least.
I agree with that. I said I do believe the Jets are on the phone. I just think, I don't know, just knowing Douglas, it's a short sample size, but especially if we get a first-round pick back for Darnold, man, he might just want to build the entire thing himself.
I don't know. I'd go all in for Watson and speed up the whole process.
But like you're mentioning the Saints, right? And obviously they're a playoff team. They're much better than the Jets. But you weren't even willing to part with Marshawn Lattimore. Like the Jets would have to maybe throw in Quentin Williams. I'm not doing that.
But that's different. But
it's not different because listen, I'm not trying to be funny. We have no defensive ends.
Your picks are valued more though.
Yeah, of course.
You would have to include Lattimore because we don't have the high draft capital.
We know that's why I had to throw a lot more in. But I'm just saying as like a point of view. And listen, if the Jets get Deshaun Watson, I'm gonna be super pumped up. I just don't think it's gonna happen. And if it does happen, I'll be super, happy. I'm not gonna be upset about getting Deshaun Watson. But if you're looking at it from the Jets' point of view and Joe Douglas' point of view, the Jets have so many holes. It's not funny. We have no defensive ends, which are going to be our pass rushers in a 4-3. CJ Mosley hasn't played football in 3 years, so right now we have no linebackers, essentially. I mean, depending on how you feel about Mosley. Marcus Mason.
But he should play, and he should be, okay, even if he's not what he was, he should be a good linebacker.
You hope so. When we signed him, we thought so, but he hasn't played in. It's going to be 3 years.
When we signed him, when the Jets signed him, they thought he was going to be the best inside linebacker in the league. Now, if he's good, then you're
now
still
you hope
winning.
He can play. Forget good. Hopefully he can play like more than one game.
Why can't he play? No, because don't get it confused. He sat out because of COVID, not because he was unhealthy.
No, this past year, I know. But I'm just saying the year before, he played like the greatest middle linebacker I've ever seen, and then he was gone after 3 quarters.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's one groin injury, and it's been 2 years.
All right, well, forget about Mosley. Mosley's like the only selling point. Like Marcus May's a free agent. He should be back. You never know. We have no corners unless they bring back Poole. You hope Bryce Hall is good. I hope so. We don't know.
You still need
him. There's
number
nothing.
One corner.
There's nothing at corner besides him. The other safety position, Jamal's gone, but now we have package. So the defense, there's not a lot there. Besides, the defensive line's really good. Quentin Williams, Franklin Myers, Fadikowski, like interior is good. Offense, it still stinks. Like we need guards. You need 2 guards.
No, but offense you could address in free agency and dedicate. So trade your whatever future picks you have to for Watson, sign a receiver and a guard, and then the rest your draft picks you spend on your defense.
I know, and I think that's gonna happen anyway, with or without Watson.
I think that's the best way to build it.
But let me counteract. Let's take a counter here. The Jets had 3 first-round picks. We don't have to trade for Watson. He doesn't end up in Miami. He ends up in the NFC team, right? The Jets had 3 first-round picks this year, then, or 2 first and whatever Darnold brings back, and all our picks next year. Like we have 10 picks, I think, in this draft, and maybe 11 or 12 depending on Darnold.
But they're not all going to be starters. So why waste the picks?
Well, what do you mean they're not going to be starters? I just mentioned all the holes in this team. Most of them are going to be starters.
If you draft somebody in the 5th round, he's going to be a starter.
All right, not in the 5th round. We have 5 picks in the top 100 this year, and it's probably going to be 6th with Darnold. Six draft picks. I think those are 6 starters for me. At least 5 in the top 100. With all the holes I mentioned. We could take any.
Look, it's not the end of the world. If you don't end up with Watson, it's not the end of the world. But
I don't think it's I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't know. Getting Watson would be such a huge benefit. It would speed up your rebuild. Yes, it would speed up the rebuild.
It would speed it up, but you'd still have like a.
You're not going to hit on every pick. It's just impossible to hit on every pick.
Of course, but I'm just saying with all the holes we have, most of these guys are going to be starters anyway.
That doesn't mean he's. I don't know. You're still years away then.
We know. I mean, this isn't a quick.
Yeah, but if you get Watson, I could make an argument you're 1 year away.
Yeah, this is not like the Lions or Texans where we have completely nothing. Like we have cap space with the draft picks. Like the Jets are going to sign probably.
That's what I'm saying. If I tell you the 2 scenarios, you could either keep your draft picks built through the draft and free agency, and you'll be 3 years away, maybe 4, right?
But that's not the truth. Even if we keep our draft picks,
Zach Wilson rookie year is not bringing you to the playoffs. I don't even think Zach Wilson's second year, with the draft picks is getting you to the playoffs. I think maybe his 3rd year, the Jets have a chance at the playoff spot.
I think with the capital we have, we can make the playoffs in 2022 season.
So it would be his 2nd year.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a 1 year difference, but still, you get Watson, and 100% you're guaranteed a playoff spot in 2022.
We're not guaranteed a playoff spot next year if you have him.
In 2022.
2022, yeah.
You're guaranteed.
Most likely,
if they build the right way around him. I mean, if you guys get Watson and you fail to execute about building around him, like what's the point?
So he's just whoever believes in Joe Douglas, New York. Yeah, so whoever believes in Joe Douglas is going to believe that they'll make it, and whoever doesn't.
Well, I believe in him. I'm just a little bit. I don't think unless.
He's old school. He's built through the draft. We know that inside out.
Yeah, and listen, this is like I said, we've been saying this is a rare opportunity. Like we've never seen a quarterback like Watson even available 25, but This could be an exception, but it just seems like, Baltimore, they build through the draft every year. They've been successful since they've been one of the best franchises since they've, been in the NFL since 2000. So I think that's the route we're going to go. And who knows? I mean, there's definitely different like ways we see it all the time. Like we know what the Rams do, we know what the Saints do. It works for them. It does not work for what the Rams do, especially. It does not work for a lot of the NFL franchises. Bears tried it, did not work. But that's the thing. You got to hit it on quarterback.
We'll see. Hopefully we get to see. Actually, I don't even think we're going to see another quarterback move before the Super Bowl.
No.
I think Stafford was the only one before Super Bowl.
This Watson thing might drag out for like even past free agency, honestly, like closer to the draft.
Well, yeah, because look, Houston's not going to want him to leave. They would be stupid not to trade him before the draft because it's like, being in denial about the inevitable, but they could easily go into training camp.
What are they going to do? Because a lot of these teams are going to have like their answer by then.
Well, look, yeah, but like you said, there's going to be the teams that don't have the answer and go in with a question mark at quarterback.
We know, but yeah, it's true. There's a lot of people on the move, but
so let's say Cam Newton goes to Chicago and Darnold goes to Indianapolis, then you have Washington that's sitting there with their their hands in their pants, and they'll make a move for training camp.
Yeah, Texans. Either way, I kind of want his like stuff to be over already. Like it's just kind of annoying now at this point. Where not on him. It's just like I know it's going to drag on. It's just like because like we have Jet fans who are there's Jet fans I see on the app on Twitter where they think he's coming here. Like there's no other team that's possible. Like they're all in. They have I guess no sense of reality. There's other Jet fans like me I guess who kind of like I'm still in on Watson. I still want him.
I know, but you don't want to tell yourself you're going to get him and then not get him and be disappointed.
Yeah, I seriously believe he's not coming here. So unless news breaks otherwise, then I'll get excited. But like I'm not letting myself get excited. I don't think it's happening. I think as the days go on, it's become obvious. Or like I still don't think Watson's his number one preferred like places here. I don't think he would mind a player if it happened. I just don't believe that report. And I don't know. It's probably going to end up being like not the Jets or Miami, like I've been saying.
Carolina, Washington.
Yeah. And listen, if that happens, I'll be happy for him, and I won't care because he won't be in the AFC.
Yeah, but he'll be in my division. Then I'll have to deal with Brady and Watson.
And I don't want him in my division.
We dealt with Brady for like 20 years. I don't want to hear this nonsense.
I truly believe if Deshaun Watson goes to the Panthers are winning a Super Bowl within 5 years.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, they're going to be.
And I'm only saying 5 years because how young their roster is, and they still have holes on defense and stuff. It might be 3 years if they build it right.
So let's move past the Watson before we end. Anything about the Super Bowl you guys want to bring up? Apparently, it's raining now. The Super Bowl thunderstorms. It's like 75% chance of rain down in Tampa this Sunday.
Yeah, I'm still riding out with the Chiefs. It's going to be the same assessment I had as last week's episode. As long as 15's playing, I'm going with 15.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel basically. But I feel like everyone's kind of writing them off. Like, oh yeah, this is going to be Brady's 7th. Like this is still.
No, I see a lot of back and forth. Honestly, I see a lot of how do you not pick Patrick Mahomes? I say how do you bet against Brady? I see a lot of both.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of both too. I don't know. Like I said, I'm still picking the Chiefs, but it would not stun me. And if Tom Brady wins this, Patrick Mahomes would have 10 career losses. 30% of them would be against Brady.
That's an overblown stat, though, because he shouldn't have lost him in the championship game.
Brady's the only career loss of Mahomes in the playoffs.
But that shouldn't have even been a loss. Brady lost the game.
All we know is Brady. We'll say it. Brady went into. We know D4 jumped offside, but Brady went into their house and won.
That's fine. And if the coin flip went the other way, Brady still would have lost.
Yeah, well, that's the rules of overtime. We knew once Brady got the ball in overtime, they weren't getting the ball.
I know, but that hypothetical where it's like, oh, people are acting like it's solidified, like it's how Kyle Shanahan always beats McVay, or how one of those situations that Brady always beats Mahomes.
Oh no, I'm not looking at it like that.
It's not like that, but that's how everybody's putting it.
Well, no, because Mahomes has beaten the Patriots and Brady. I think.
No, I know, but
in the regular season.
But people are referring to it like how you said it. How it's
no, because that's kind of interesting. He still has 2 wins over him. like the rest of the NFL, the only team, there's no team that has beaten him twice besides the Patriots and Brady. Well, now it's the Bucks, but
I don't know. And then all the Brady lovers are going to be like, "Oh, it was against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce." And how do you
if they
expect
win
Brady
this,
to win?
they deserve hella credit. I don't care how they do this.
And Brady's 44. Congratulations, you beat him. That's all they're going to say. But if he wins, he's 44 and he beat Mahomes. Are you kidding me? He's the GOAT.
Well, yeah, if Brady wins, the takes are going to be.
There's no winning with the Brady stands.
Look, bro, all I could say is that my guy has beat Tom Brady twice, so that's all that matters to me.
That's true. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
You guys have anything else, or we're done?
No, I'm talking about Brady made me sick of it. I'm over it.
We only mentioned him at the very end, so there's not a lot of Brady talk today.
Yeah, it's still too soon.
All right. Well, anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Enjoy your Super Bowl.
Happy Super Bowl. See you guys next week. We'll make a mock draft.
Just hope it's a good game. Yeah, and next time you'll see us, I'll have it on the stream. We'll do a 1.0 mock draft for this 2021 draft.
Sounds good.